All right, has the transfer portal affected the Dogs yet? Yet, probably not. But there are a couple things to keep an eye on as we get going here. So I'm gonna show you over on Dog Post what we've got going on real quick. This is just a very quick rudimentary look at the transfer portal and who's left Georgia. Now this is as of Friday at noon. Okay, Friday at noon. You've got Darius Smith, Jonathan Jefferson, C.J. Madden, Brock Vandergriff, Jackson Meeks, Austin Blasky, Jared Zirkle, Xavier Story, Lightsey, Nealon Green, and Makai Muse. I would say the two that jump out to me are Sorey and Vandergriff. Blasky's going to be a pretty good linebacker, offensive lineman for somebody. The other guys, it's not surprising that they have left. Now, what does that mean for the Dogs? Where does Georgia go from here? The person I would watch the most is Trevor Etienne, who's a former now Florida running back and was one of the few weapons that they had. They're, okay, so by my math, and I can't turn the screen. So Georgia only had about 9 seniors in this senior class. So it was a younger team. You're going to have guys like Brock Bowers that are going to leave. Probably Amarius Mims, although we don't know yet. So let's just say you got, and Lassiter, let's just say you've got 5 guys that leave for the NFL early, plus the 11 transfers out. That's 16, plus the 9 that we're talking about. Well, there's your 25. That's your signing class. So they were right on top of that. And, the portal bringing guys in, they've got the ability to bring a few guys in. So that's why I would pay attention to Trevor Etienne. Why? There's a couple of reasons. A, he's really good. Okay, B, and you can't see it over here either, they are returning 3 guys with experience in college football, none of which have played what I would call meaningful downs. It's not been a lot. Okay, you got Robinson, Paul, and Robinson. Dwight Phillips Jr. is coming in. You got another running back coming in who's really good too. So they don't have the sort of I don't think they have what ETN can give them, which is a very serious home run threat at any moment. Now, Dwight Phillips can do that. I've seen that live. That is something to behold. That is Kenny McIntosh times 3. I mean, he can really fly. It's something more like Swift, although it's different. I'm not going to get sidetracked on Dwight Phillips. But when you look around and you see what all is out there, there's some stuff for Georgia. There's some stuff, but it's not going to be, it doesn't look like it's going to be a quarterback, which I think is the part that really gets people going the most are the quarterbacks. I mean, there are a ton of quarterbacks in the portal, and some are pretty good. Cam Ward, Dante Moore from UCLA, Kansas State's former quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, who was at UCF before going to Oklahoma. You got the Oregon State quarterback in there. Riley Leonard at Duke, he's in there. Obviously, Brock Vandergriff, Kyle McCord. I mean, some of these guys, DJ Uiagalelei, Tyler Van Dyke, there are some guys, you know their name. Will Rogers, for all of you Coastal Carolina folks out there. Grayson McCall. There are a lot of people who are Athens local. Max Johnson is going to, I believe, his 3rd school. It's a little, it kind of gets a little bit too much after a while, in my opinion, with the quarterbacks specifically, because, it's just one of those things. It's just like, hey, how many schools are you going to go to? But the fact of the matter is that these guys need to play. If you're a quarterback, you need to play. You cannot wait around. This is an awesome image, an awesome Christmas gift for you. There are, I don't know how many are left now. When I'm recording this, there are 13 of these remaining. My suspicion is there will not be 13 of them by the time you see this. So this is Kelee Ringo. We did a NIL event with Kelee. Some of y'all watching this were at that event. A lot of y'all have since participated in some of this, so that helped out Kelee before his senior year. Before his junior year, sorry. He was very professional, total pro, and got it done. But this is part of history you can have. There's only 33 of these images. Check it out. The link is right down below. A lot of these guys that are in the portal are going to give a new school an opportunity to do some damage. I mean, we have seen over time that transfers have really worked out. Whether you're talking about Joe Burrow, Stetson Bennett, so lately the only people that have won national championships have been transfers. Stetson, Joe Burrow. You can't say that about Mac Jones. And then this season, at Alabama, you still have the same quarterback. He still is in his group, but that's not the case. That was not the case at Ohio State. Excuse me. That is not the case at Washington. I don't know why I said Ohio State. And then not at Texas either. So the norm is that quarterbacks transfer. And Georgia lately, the only sort of homegrown that they've had lately has been Jake Fromm and Jake Fromm and Carson Beck. That's it, because Stetson transferred in and out and in. I don't know. And then I'm trying to think. And JT was obviously a transfer too. So this is the new norm. Now, I know there's a lot of folks, the most vocal people seem to be the ones talking about how much they dislike it. But, I mean, okay. I don't find it to be such a big deal, to be honest with you. I mean, as a person who was in collegiate sports, we were really restricted about what we could do. If you left a school, you couldn't play for a year. It was just dumb, honestly. And I think that I think there, like anything else, sometimes it gets a little bit too ridiculous. And I think there are some ridiculous situations out there right now. Like if you're on your third school, that's a problem to me. Like that's a strange phenomenon. If you're not making it work at your second destination, why? Why is that the case? Now there could be an explanation for that. And I'll say for instance for Max Johnson, leaving LSU, that was a coaching change. Leaving Texas A&M, that is a coaching change. And I think if he sticks around at North Carolina long enough, that will be a coaching change too. That's not about Max. That's about North Carolina. But, I mean, and at Washington State, that's been the case here lately, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, excuse me, at Oregon State, that's definitely the case with DJ. But DJ Uiagalelei. But, it will be, I don't know about fun, but, there will come a time when that settles itself out, I think. Joe Burrow going to LSU, there's just no excuse for that for Ohio State. I mean, you lost the best quarterback of this century. Because Urban Meyer was your head coach. I don't know the explanation for that. And yeah, I said of this century, I mean, who's been a better quarterback than that guy? Tom Brady, I guess. But Tom Brady wasn't really in this century in college football. I mean, there's just not a lot to say other than Joe Burrow lost 3 games. Is that right in college? So he was 27-ish and 3, something like that. I mean, he was amazing at LSU in 2019. Amazing. And has been pretty amazing with the Bengals, too, for the record. Going to Super Bowl with the Cincinnati Bengals. And that's the guy that left. And so it's just a different world and with the quarterbacks. Now, for the Dawgs, there's some spots. Running back for sure. Linebacker, we're going to have to see. I mean, part of what's going on here for me is I don't know what I don't know. I don't know who is coming back for sure. We know who's leaving. I don't know who's coming back for sure. Everybody that's a senior, Carson Beck's group, he's a junior, but like Milton, Edwards, Rosie Jack Saint, Brinson, Stackhouse, those guys can all come back because of COVID. They all have a COVID year. Everybody after that does not. So like Vandegrift, Bowers, Mims, Smile Munden, Jamon Dumas Johnson's world, they do not have a COVID year. So unless something's changed that I'm unaware of, that class does not have a COVID year on them. We will also see what happens in the spring. So this to inform you, and they could maybe use a tight end. We're going to see. I mean, Lawson Lucky's pretty good, and Oscar Delp, obviously. But they could maybe use a tight end, but they got a couple coming in. I mean, I think, when I look at the Georgia board, there's not a lot of spots where they're missing out. They are going to have to rebuild their defensive line. And that's, we're going to see what happens there because you're losing Brinson. You're definitely losing Walthour. He's gone. He can't. He's using his COVID year this year. So Zion Lowe, Nazir, and Warren Brinson, they're gone. So those three guys are gone for sure. Everybody else should be back. Christian Miller has been very productive this year. I will be on. I did not think he would be this productive this early in his career. Ingram Dawkins had a tough year, so they're going to have to attack the defensive line situation. That may be somewhere that they look at, but I don't think they're going to get the defensive tackle from Texas A&M. That doesn't seem to me like something that's going to happen. But I don't know. Walter Nolan is what I'm talking about. I don't know on that front. And just to be frank, they've been pretty good on the defensive line, replacing pretty good players. And we'll just see where it goes from there. But, I mean, the jury is still out on Georgia's transfer portal situation right now. We'll just see what happens as we go forward.